section 2.4 has to do with writing linear equations. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to be taking the information they give you and putting it in equation form. So we've already talked about slope-intercept form, where you have y is equal to mx plus b. And so what we're going to do is we're going to write equations of a line in slope-intercept form if you have the slope and you have a point that goes through the slope. For example, let's say I have negative 6, 1 is where the line goes through, and it has a slope of negative 2/3. You're going to go through a step-by-step process. First step, you're going to put the slope into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to do it over here on the side. The slope here is negative 2/3, so I substitute negative 2/3 in for my m into my slope-intercept form. Second thing, I'm going to put the x and y values into y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I'm going to actually do that over here, remembering that this is your x and this is your y. So 1 is your y. I still have my slope of 2/3, and then I'm going to substitute my negative 6 in for my x. Okay, step 3, I'm going to solve for b. So I work this through. I have 1 is equal to negative 2 times negative 6 is 12. So I have 12 over 3 plus b, or that's 1 is equal to 4 plus b. I'm going to subtract the 4 from both sides, and I'm going to find out that the b is equal to a negative 3. So that's going to bring me to step 4, which is put the slope and y-intercept values in the y equals mx plus b form. So in other words, I again put my negative 2/3 in there for my slope. And then my y-intercept I just solved for is negative 3. So there's the equation of the line that goes through negative 6, 1, and has a slope of 2/3. So let's do another one. Okay, write the equation of the line in y-intercept form. Let's see if it'll focus in on that. There we go. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that goes through negative 1, 3, and has a slope of 2. So the first step is I'm going to put the slope in. Y is equal to 2x plus b. So I put the slope in for the m. The second step, I'm going to put in the y and the x. So the y value is 3. The x value is negative 1. The third step is I'm going to solve for the b. So I have 3 is equal to negative 2 plus b. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I'm going to get 5 equals b. The fourth step is I'm substituting back in the slope. So I put the 2 right there, and I'm putting the b in the b location in y equals mx plus b. So there's the equation of the line that goes through negative 1, 3 and has a slope of 2. Now, they don't always give you the slope and a point. Sometimes they'll give you 2 points. There's 2 different methods by which you might want to do this, and it's totally up to you which way you do it. One is through what we call the point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. and the other one would be going through y equals mx plus b form, or the slope-intercept form. In this form, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 points and I'm going to substitute them in, and I'm going to solve for my slope. And then if they don't tell me what form to put the equation in, I know it's going to be in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to say 2 minus 3. So I took, this is y sub 1 and this is y sub, or actually I think I did it the other way. This is y sub 2 and this is y sub 1. So I have 2 minus 3 is equal to m times 3 minus 5. So I've substituted in both of these sets of points for the 2 different y's. If you will, you could make this y sub 2 and this x sub 2. So I have negative 1 is equal to m times negative 2. So when I divide and solve for m, I find out that it's equal to 1/2. Then I would use that and put it in the right form. So I would have to solve for the b. So again, I'm going to go y is equal to 1/2 x plus b. Then I'm going to pick one of those values. It doesn't matter which. I can pick 3, 2. So I've got 2 is equal to 1/2 times 3 plus b. Then I would solve for my b. So I have 2 is equal to 3 over 2 plus b. I'm going to subtract the 2 minus 3 over 2 equals b, and that's going to give me a 1/2 is equal to b. So then when I put it back in the form here, and I don't need the 4 there, that's still part of solving, so this would be 4. I have y is equal to 1/2 x plus the b, which is 1/2. Now, you could over here, rather than do all this work and rather than go through the point slope form, you could like make a 0 step and solve for your slope. So m is equal to 2 minus 3 over 3 minus 5, which is going to give me a negative 1 over a negative 2, or a positive 1/2. Then you would start the whole process, which would be exactly like you did down here. You would have y is equal to 1/2 x plus b. Substitute in, and I'm actually going to take the other point so you can see it works either way. So 3 is equal to 1/2 times 5. Remember, this is your x and your y, plus b, and then I need to solve. So I have 3 is equal to 5 over 2 plus b, and then when I solve, I've got 6 over 2, which is the same thing as 3, minus 5 over 2 equals b, so b equals 1/2. So then I'm right back to getting the exact same thing that I got there. So 1/2 x plus 1/2. All right, let's work on this one. I'm going to go through y equals mx plus b form because that's the form that always works, and that's what you're trying to get it into. So step 0 is going to be finding my slope. So actually, I think that's that. No, I guess it is different. Okay, so I have 3 minus 5 over 2 minus 1, which is going to give me a negative 2 over a positive 1, or negative 2. So step 1 would be putting the negative 2 where the slope goes. Step 2 would be plugging in points. Really doesn't matter which one. I think I'll go ahead and do that one. So I'll go 3 is equal to negative 2 times 2 plus b. Step 3 would be solving for the b. So I have negative 4 plus b. I'm going to add 4 to both sides, so I'm going to get b is equal to 7. The last step would be to put it in slope-intercept form, so I have a negative 2x plus 7. So that would be the slope of the line that goes through those 2 points. All right, so now you're going to combine what we've just done with what you know about perpendicular lines and parallel lines. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. It says write the equation of the line that passes through this and is perpendicular to this equation. Well, this equation is simply to help me find the slope. So if I'm looking for the slope that's perpendicular to that, I am looking for a slope of 1/3 because it's the opposite reciprocal of that. So I go y, step 1, y is equal to 1/3 x plus b, and then I'm going to plug in these points for the second step. So I have 5 is equal to 1/3 times -9 plus b. Third step is solving, so 5 is equal to -3 plus b. b is going to equal 8. I plug these back in. So y is equal to 1/3 x plus 8. And that would be the equation of the line that passes through that and is perpendicular to it. Well, what happens when it's parallel? Well, if it was parallel, then the slope I would grab from this equation now is just -3, because parallel lines have the same slope. So I go through the same steps every time. Y is equal to -3x plus b. I plugged in the slope there. Then I'm going to plug in the point, so I have 5 is equal to -3 times 9 plus b. Then I'm going to solve for the b. So that's going to give me a -27 plus b. When I solve for it, or I add the 27, it's going to give me a 32. So my equation is y is equal to -3x plus 32. That would be the equation of the line that passes through -9, 5 and is parallel to that line. All right, try one. And then come back to it. It goes through 3, 2 and is parallel to the equation of this line. So if it's parallel, it means it has the same slope. So the slope is 2. Y is equal to 2x plus b. I plug in. 2 is equal to 2 times 3 plus b. I'm going to solve for the b. And then I plug them all back in. 2x plus -4. But if it's perpendicular, then remember what changes is now I'm taking the opposite reciprocal, so now I have a slope of -1/2. So I put that slope in. Then I grab those 2 points and put them in. So that's going to be 2 is equal to -1/2 times 3 plus b. So then I'm going to solve for my b. So I have 2 is equal to, I'll just go ahead and call that -1.5 plus b. I'm going to add that. So I'm going to get 3.5 equals b. So if you wanted to put it in that way, 3.5 is can be used as like 7/2 if you want to, so you can write that as 7/2. Y is equal to -1/2 x plus 7/2, or you could write the 7/2 as 3.5. It doesn't really matter on that. So that would be the equation of the line that passes through 3, 2 and is perpendicular to this equation. Alright, so your homework on this is page 92 through 93, 22 through 42 even.